Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live.
Never give up. Oh God. Oh no, it happens all the time. I was telling the feed this morning on Good Morning Tracy that I had no electricity. But now the air conditioner's on. Yes. Yes. Oh, I was supposed to come on 15 minutes ago, but now I'm kind of glad I waited. Hello, everyone, and how are you? Yes, glad it's back on, child. Me too. Hi, everyone. Oh, I need some water. I don't feel like it. I need some water. All right, let's see what the morning report is for today. The morning report. Okay. All right. I'm going to choose this one, and this one is salad. Hello, everyone on YouTube. Good health, good health, good health. So today we're going to talk about balance. Let's take a look at the card. Look at the dating symbol. Look at the two faces. You can really see it that well, I see. I don't know what the bug is. There's some nurturing stuff going on here. This symbol, everyone. Balance. Let's see what it says. Oh. Let's see what it says. Balance. The lady in this picture consoles a man who is sad and lonely. The man's heart is full of unexpressed emotions, which at some point he no longer is able to handle. The tears flow and a healing occurs. Regardless of whether you're male or female, this card mirrors what is happening energetically in relationship society. It represents your yang, masculine energy, and a feeling that automatically occurs when you open your heart and allow your feelings to flow through. There's no need to analyze it, since you release all your feelings down. If you feel like confiding in a trusted friend or a health professional into it, journaling is also very helpful and therapeutic. Start to make time for you. Be loving and gentle with yourself. This is a time to nurture you. Well, I think this article is a little confusing to me because it starts out a woman nurturing a man. I don't know if that's necessary to say, I wish, but I think it was also trying to show the yin of nurturing. I just wish maybe the wording had been different. Maybe they could have been comforting each other and both could have been crying, right? It seems so patriarchal when we have a woman nurturing a man, but I complain a lot about that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure if the wording was balanced as it's trying to portray I get it. So, what I get that this card is saying very important is that we have both feminine and masculine energy. And the masculine energy would refuse love. The feminine energy tries. But sometimes when we hold it in too much, be it male or female, we do ourselves a disservice. Like many of you have heard me say in many of my readings, why I have time. I'm like, let it out. Like the boo-hoo cry. Like, if you don't feel safe with me, you're never going to feel safe with anyone. A lot of people don't even feel safe in their own house with themselves. You know, when I find myself crying often in the car will make me cry. Maybe a song will come on. Maybe somebody will say something on the radio, and it'll get me to thinking, and the tears can roll down my eyes. And sometimes if I really need to cry where I can't see, I'll pull over and I'll just cry. I remember when my friend Fletcher died. To this day, it chokes me up. Like, I have very few amazing friends in my life where they will have my back thick and thick, true and true. And Fletcher was one of them, right? And I found him late in my life. I only had 5 years with him before he died of cancer. And he was such a true friend. Like, I'll never see that again. I already know it. But I did see it. I had it. I grasped it. And when he died, there was a lot of factors that made me cry. Like, he had friendships in the church for over 20 years, and he was abandoned in the end. All of it was very weird for me. And I was like, I've only known him for 5 years, but you guys have known him for 20. Like, this is weird. So I was sad for him. I was sad for myself. I was also in shock, because as much as I hung around him, and as psychic as I am, I didn't pick up on the fact that he was dying from cancer. And I kept trying to get him to go home to the Indian reservation with his family, and he just refused. It was just so hard. And finally, at the last minute, I think I ratted on him. At the last minute, I can't remember. I don't remember anymore, but I think I ratted on him, and I told his family members, I don't think he's going to make it. I don't know what's wrong with him, but I don't think. I've tried going to doctor's appointment with him, but he would trick me, and we would wind up at another doctor's appointment that had nothing to do with his health technique. It was weird. And finally, his family, they were amazing. They swooped him up, got him back to Nevada, Arizona, and from what they tell me, they took a nap, and then he got up and he said, "Take me to the hospital." And it was at that visit that he was diagnosed with cancer, that I think he knew, but didn't tell me. And he died within days. Man, but he was the best love that had ever walked into my life. And oh boy, was a Native American gay man. he was the best love that had ever walked into my life. I miss him. To this day, I miss him. They used to call us the odd couple in the church, because it's church, and I was a psychic, and everybody thought it was okay to hate the psychic, and Fletcher would let them have it. Fletcher was like, you gotta go through me. You want to hate her? You gotta go through me. It was so nice. Do you need to cry? Can't hear me? You guys can't? Oh, it's because I didn't have this on. It's because I didn't have the air conditioner on. Sorry if you guys couldn't hear. What a beautiful experience to have a friend like that. It was a nice experience. It was a nice experience. Yeah, I just, I don't know. I don't know what went wrong. I'm so sorry, guys. Oh, maybe because this was on. No, I turned it off. Oh, maybe because this was on. Can you guys hear me now? I think I had this on. All right. And in any case, I might have messed up the feed for you guys, but it's on IG. But does anybody here need to cry? I miss my Aunt Shirley. There you go. It was the fan. Okay, I apologize. Yeah, we can hear you now. Oh, good. I'm so glad you came. Oh, it's AB. Hi. I'm sorry. It's not my normal iPad, so I screwed up a little. I've been crying for weeks in WY. Why? Does anybody else need to cry? Maybe you just need to find some time for yourself and sit in your car or sit in the middle of your sofa and just let it out. Crying's good. Well, sometimes when you cry, it makes you more of a warrior, child. Let them tears out. It'll make you mad, you know? Edna, you need to cry. Just lost my cousin to cancer. Oh, Sabrina. Yeah, you did hear the story about my friend before. Yeah. One of my favorite people in the whole world. I have very few people that really have my back, like true and true, right? I have people that might want something from me. Um, and so they'll be close to me because they want something from me, but he never wanted anything from me. He just wanted me to be myself, and he helped me recognize my sister's behaviors. He used to get so mad, but I didn't know what he was getting mad about. And he's like, Tracy, it's my special needs sister. He goes, she's taking advantage of you. I was like, what? Tracy, I think she's taking advantage of you. I think she's pretending. And boy, when he told me that, I started looking at my sister sideways. But he helped me by helping me to see clearly. Crying can give you clarity. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I don't cry much. Okay. You don't have to, you know. If you need to, then do it. But you don't have to. And Sabrina, it's okay to cry over your cousin. Like, do it. I understand, CW. Trust and believe. No, not Tony. He told me that Tony was taking advantage of me. And when he told me that, I started looking at my sister's side eye. And she was. She knew how to take her special needs and use it to her advantage. And that's when I had to put my foot down with her. Mm-hmm. That's how I wound up in the Caribbean, because for the last 3 years, but not recently, 2 years before that, I forget when it doesn't really matter. I started restructuring my position with her and recognizing that she was emotionally much more capable than she was pretending. Yeah. So, just a reminder, everyone, this card is more about the yin and the yang, and it can't be off balance, right? Never give up. You can't be the warrior inside when we've got to bring the feminine through, all right? And I guess crying is feminine, right? And not crying is masculine. But let's kind of combine the energy, both male and females, right? It's okay, guys, to cry. It really is. It just changes your inside when you let the tears out. All right? So I authorize all of you to cry a little. Okay? I give you permission to cry a little. And if it leads, hi, Black Daddy, if it leads to a big cry, well, that's between you and your God. Okay? Good morning, CJ. Oh, you're so welcome, Dory. I appreciate you. And D&B, Dashiki's and Bonnets. I've grown so much. Wow. Her last hour, I broke down and I did not know she was passing at the same time. That was for your protection. The one thing I recognize with death and our mental health is that God doesn't really always have us fully invested in death when it occurs. It's a weird thing. You could know someone's dying, you could be sitting next to them. They're dying in front of you. And you will see what you need to see to survive emotionally all of that. And one of my cousins saw, I think it's her aunt. One of my cousins saw her aunt, who's my cousin, passed away. And I remember I don't know why she walked out the room. So I don't know if she went to the bathroom or something like that. And it was the thing that saved her mental health. Even if you don't know it, there's something about. My dad was literally dying, literally in my face, because I could see his legs turning purple. And all I kept saying is, well, he'll never walk again, because his legs kept turning purple. I didn't know he was dying. And I was like, oh, he'll never walk again, huh? And then he was talking to me and he says, Tracy, they're coming for me. And I was like, what? What? And I knew what he meant, but I didn't know what he meant. I knew exactly what he meant, but I didn't. So I said, who is coming for you? And he says, they wear a cloak and dagger. So I said to my dad, I said, don't you go with them. Don't you tell them no, right? So I stay with him a little bit, and then I go back. CJ, we're not discussing Monique. Monique lied. She lied to us. They're not suing anybody. Crackheads. And then I leave, and this went on for about 2 weeks, but he had been dying the whole time. And then my son gets a job to work on Whoopi Goldberg's TV show. And then I get the phone call that this was it, right? And it wasn't until after he passed that I realized that he was trying to tell me he was passing. My mind didn't want to see it. My heart didn't want to see it. So your mind, Sabrina, has a way of disconnecting when death occurs. It's a healthy thing. So let's understand that death is an energy, and people have to come in and escort your cousin. And because of that escorting, you, the one that doesn't have a proper relationship with death, whereas your cousin has a renewed relationship with death, right? So death is occurring even if you're in the same room, but the veil goes up for you so that they can take your cousin. B.B. King said cry a little. Is that a song? It was not traumatic. Got it. I was like, it was traumatic and peaceful. It was not traumatic. But there's a thing about death when you're not to be involved, right? It's weird. So some people could sit right there and they fall asleep for a second. They wake up, the family members pass. I mean, I've heard so many stories of like always there, and then you go to the bathroom and then they pass. You know, it's a thing with death, and I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that, right? Some people, they'll get up and they, the person might say, I need water. And they'll go up and get water and they come back and the person's passed. It's a fine, such a fine line. But you, the living, who has no relationship with death, many times can't see the transition. There's some sort of trick involved. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that, but there's some sort of sleight of hand magic trick that doesn't allow you to invest in the full spectrum of death. When my mom passed, it was the same way. None of us were there. None of us were there. We were there, and we got Tony down from a hour's ride from upstate New York, and we were surrounding her bed. We were all there talking, praying. My brother was really smart. My brother had my sister asked my mom questions, right? And she goes, this is Tony again. And she goes, are you okay? And by some miracle, with the shake of the machines, my mom shakes her head yes. And then she asked Tony about 3 questions. I got to ask my brother now. It's been so many years now. And my sister, we're all like silently crying because she's having this moment with my mother. So we're all just like, oh my God, like really upset. And she's having this conversation. My brother, my sister, Tony, my mom, they had this thing going, right? Even though my mom was in a coma, right? But every time Tony asked a question, it was a question that could be answered in a yes. And so Tony would ask a question like, I want to believe she said, are you going to heaven? And my mom was like, yes, something like that, right? But don't go by me. I got to talk to my brother, ask him about it. And then she asked her 3 questions I'll never forget. And when she was done, she said, Mom will be fine. And then she said, let's go eat. And we looked up and we were like, bet, let's go eat. Because death is long. You do wind up starving. And Tony was hungry. We like, let's go eat. We went to go eat. And the minute somebody finished that last plate of food, did we get the phone call from the hospital. And by the time we got there, they had cleaned her up and dressed her up and, laid her out. But there's this fine line between who's allowed to be there and who's allowed to see it And the trick when you, the living, cannot invest in that moment of death. It's a weird thing that happens. I get it. And the other thing is, a lot of times that last moment, that last hour, you don't, it's a shock. It's like, what? Was this the moment? What? So, but BB King said, cry a little. I think that's a song. All right, guys. That's my job calling me. I got to start my job. 213-458-7408. Call me for your own personal reading. I have openings today. Once again, I hope I helped. I really do. We talked about crying, which led to talking about, the passing of someone. Take it easy, guys. Bye. Bye, guys.
Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live.